Bedford! Where's Bedford? Come on.
Bedford. Where's Bedford? Come on.
A market town along the Great River Ouse in the county of Bedfordshire. Funnily enough, Bedford is steeped in history. Established back in the Middle Ages with a fortress built by Edward the Elder, which was destroyed back in 1224. This all sounds like something straight out of Lord of the Rings. There's been many associated industries within the town. The main one originally being wool back in the 1500s, but later brickwork at the turn of the 20th century. Notable musicians hailing from Bedford include classical singer Caroline Sampson, Danny Nichols, Lil Silver, and of course one of my favourite rock bands, Don Broco.
Yeah, damn.
A likely history of bards and troubadours telling tales of wool and castles. And not a bad bunch of musical alumni. So what do we reckon Bedford thinks of street music? Yes folks, there is only one way to find these things out. Here is how I got on busking in Bedford. Now then, welcome to Bedford. I grew up near Bedford and I actually learned guitar here. I used to come here every 2 weeks for a guitar lesson. Between ages of like about 14 to 17, I came here every 2 weeks, but I never actually came into the town centre. This is my first time. We're here along this lovely river, the River Ouse, I believe. Supposedly, Bedford was known as Little Italy, and it was called that because a bunch of Italians moved here in the 1950s to do with the brick making trade. They built it up to look a little like Italy, but I don't think it looks anything like Italy. I think it's probably been built over a few times since. But anyway, we're here to see how it is for street music, aren't we? I'm working with a new camera setup today, so we'll see how that goes. And in the meantime, whilst I'm trying to find somewhere to set up, let's go through the rules. The rules for busking in Bedford. Bedford Borough Council do not include busking as part of their council's licensing responsibilities. As for anything busking or street entertainment related on their website, there is absolutely nothing. Nothing. None. Zilch. N/A. It's been a hot minute, but Bedford joins the list of places that appear to have no guidelines whatsoever on street entertainment. So naturally, it's just the standard etiquette that applies. These are the current UK government blanket rules for busking, which apply to absolutely everywhere within the UK. You must not make too much noise. You must not block public highways. You must not display notices asking for payment. You may not carry out street trading without a street trader's license. And you should only busk in certain parts of a town or for a certain time period. What happens if you're busking in a city? I wonder if they thought that through. And of course, people under the age of 14 aren't allowed to busk. Don't ask me why, got no idea. Maybe like a parental guidance thing. Or maybe they just don't want anyone under the age of 14 absolutely killing it, street music wise, growing up to become incredible performers and then taking over the music world. Maybe. When I research a place before I go busking there and I find that there are no guidelines, I usually just look for a few videos or pictures of other buskers in that place, just to ensure that it has been done before. And I'm not gonna step into an unknown territory like the Wild Wild West and get taken out before I've even started playing. That's usually all I need for a go-ahead. So that's it for Bedford. As it stands, no specific guidelines. The question is that a good thing or a bad thing? Does it mean I show up in Bedford to an unregulated town full of busking anarchy? Or does it mean I show up to a nice chilled out place that just trusts its street musicians to be harmonious, brighten up the surroundings and make folks smile? Well, continue watching and you might just find out. Let's get on with my day in Bedford. Where's Bedford?
Bedford. Where's Bedford? Come on.
Spot number 1. The first thing you should know before we go any further is on the day I was filming in Bedford, I was trying out my new camera / microphone setup.
Time grabs you by the wrist, directs you where to go.
I've recently upgraded my gear, but as these things typically go, I was having some issues, technical issues.
Pretty lesson learning time. There's something unpredictable, but in the end it's right. I hope you have the time of your life.
And it meant that there was no audio on the first hour and a half worth of clips. Shocking.
So take the photographs and still frames in your mind.
Luckily, I was smart enough to check at some point and promptly realised my mistake. Okay, I'm not sure it's been recording audio at all this whole time. I've got my new GoPro set up. It's going very well, except for this technical difficulty. But that's why I'm doing this. It's like a test run for my new setup, as well as another video.
Right.
It wasn't the end of the world, but it did mean there's no audio on an incredible piece of footage I got whilst I spoke to a fellow busker who was playing the harmonica.
It's something unpredictable, but in the end it's right. I hope you have the time of your life.
An intriguing character that told me that busking in Bedford was no good, that people never even give you the time of day.
It's something unpredictable, but in the end it's right. I hope you have the time of your life.
I took his statement as a challenge, to prove to him that it could be done. I even committed to buying him lunch, seeing that I did succeed. The annoying thing about it not having recorded the whole set that I've just played is you missed all the little interactions, didn't you? But it looks like I've worked it out for this second set, so I think you're going to be alright. There's going to be entertainment for you anyway. Technical difficulties. Who needs them? The first thing I notice about Bedford is that it has a nice stretch of pedestrian-only shopping area that has multiple different streets, lending themselves to busking.
Is there something else you're searching for?
From my research on Google Maps and a quick walk around whilst I was there, I'd say there are about 6 busking pitches. First is on the north of Harper Street, outside Church Arcade. Second is on the south of Harper Street, outside the library. The third is on Church Square, and the other 3 are all along Midland Road.
Aren't you tired trying to feel that void? What do you need more? And yet I keep it so hardcore.
On Midland Road, I'd say set up on either end or slap bang in the middle, which is where I went, right in the thick of it all.
Find myself longing for a change. And in bad times I feel myself.
And despite it being a small place, I'd say you probably fit 3 or 4 buskers in at one time. That would probably be maximum capacity.
Crash through the surface, take it off, far from the shallow now.
I positioned myself in the middle of Midland Road as it was market day. And other than my harmonica tooting friend, there was no sign of any other street entertainers.
In the shallow, far from the shallow now.
I'm in 2 minds about whether it's good to busk on a market day. I've had some places where I'm really successful on market days, and I've had places where I'm not so successful. I've also been moved on market day in Worthing. The people on the stalls wanted to be able to hear the customers, but I think this one's turning out to be pretty good. Luckily there's like lots of gaps in between the stalls so you can set up somewhere.
Watch you start diving. I'll never meet the price.
Despite my harmonica playing friend being pessimistic about Bedford, things got off to a flying start.
Now, in the shallow, in the shallow, in the shallow, far from the shallow now.
Good times in Bedford. I think that places that are like a bit beaten up and a bit dull need music. That's what we're here for. Brighten a place up. And you can feel it happening as you do it. Magic feeling, man. Magic feeling.
Sunday morning when she woke up by night.
I was a little apprehensive as to how well it would go, because let's just say that Bedford's brickwork looks like it hasn't really been updated since the turn of the 20th century.
Tuesday, you could say that girl was good as gold.
To say the least, it's a little rugged in places.
Love. So I went for a drive to clear my mind, ended up at a shell on the I-65.
But as with other towns I've experienced, much like Bedford, these places tend to be the most generous and kind.
Julie wasted time and when she was home. Now it's calling up 5 on the radio station on the 483 Beach Vacation.
I'm pretty stoked on how it's going, because I think it's busy and I'm getting donations frequently, I'm getting lots of acknowledgement. People are smiling over. And I'm not sure that this is as smiley as a smiley place can get. I think there are smilier places in the world, so to see lots of smiles is good.
You up and apologize. When she heard about my newfound luck, only they fade and die.
As well as the audio difficulties I'd had with my new microphone, I was also having some visual ones. You'll notice in some of the clips a bit of fluff along the top of the screen. This is because my dead cat, that's a dead cat, that happened to be in the shot. I didn't realise.
It's gotta be the only logical reason that I'm gonna last forward at the movie's parking lot, and the waitress let me know on my check reader heart.
Look, I'm learning on the job, my friends. I'm a musician who uses video cameras. I'm not a filmmaker who plays music. But you seem to be sticking around just fine, so I appreciate that. Bear with. I'll get there, I promise.
Yeah, two of my buddies to play around and go. Well, I gotta see my ex with my law and more. Oh Lord, when it rains it pours.
I keep getting like a little, I hear a little bit of melody and I think, oh, is that another bus? And it turns out to be like a little kid singing or a little bit of music from someone's phone. Someone watching TikTok videos. About halfway through the second round of the set. Will this be the one spot wonder of dreams that it could be? Stay tuned to find out. Now there were no sign of any other buskers, but there were a fair amount of preachers in Bedford.
Now it's coming up on the radio station on a 483 Beach Vacation.
Preachers happen to be a common sight in most town or city centres. I often find myself sharing office space with them, and most of the time I find them to be fairly passive.
More and more. Oh Lord, when it rains it pours.
They don't tend to acknowledge me or get disturbed by my presence. And it works the same way around. There were some really friendly preachers in Bedford though, that stood and watched my set from the opposite side of the road. And they even gave me a few donations. So I haven't actually busked in over a week because I've been in recovery mode after I did a massive trail run. My fingers are feeling it today. Oh, here's the preaching going on. Straight through a microphone. Far out. I often wonder about the lives of other people as I observe them, about their business, whilst I'm playing on the street. It's just funny to witness the average human activity that takes place on a British high street.
These songs for a reason. And I like to think this code is just for the season only.
Yeah, such a good, unique perspective of the street when you're a street musician, because it's not often that you get to stand in one place in a high street for hours and observe. If you like observing activity, this is one of the best jobs. If you're a musician who likes observing, then busking is ticking all your boxes.
Let's just go back, turn around. Life's a game. Nobody knows how to play it, save it.
After playing once through the set, having not recorded any of the audio, I decided that I'd go for a one-spot wonder here in Bedford. Despite having multiple busking spots, things just were going really well where I was, and I didn't feel like there was a need to move.
No decision, what can I do? Now I'm 2 steps from a crossroads, and how should we trade it? Go now, slow down.
No angry shop owners, no one visibly getting annoyed, and no other buskers who wanted the spot.
Just go back, turn around. And they say what they want about it. Does that mean I don't doubt it sometimes?
The donations just kept on flowing, and the overall vibe was really friendly. It was one of those places that there were no particularly big donations, but they just kept coming, like a slow trickle.
2 steps from a crossroads. 2 steps from a crossroads.
When this happens, it often feels really nice. It feels like you're always doing something right. There are never long periods or lulls where no one comes forward or no one acknowledges you. And that kind of gives you this consistent energy. I always appreciate that.
And I like to think that you, well, I like to think maybe that's my problem.
Not that I don't appreciate the big donations. They're always good too.
How don't you trade it? Go now, slow down. There's a monster inside my head, says go back, turn around. So where do we go from here? Yeah, where do I go home? 2 steps from a crossroads. 2 steps from a crossroads.
Done over 3 hours now. What do you reckon our total's going to be? Is it going to be 3 figs? I reckon it's going to be 2 figs, but hopefully high 2 figs. No card taps whatsoever. But I think maybe my sign's faded quite a bit, so maybe that's about setting a new sign up. But yeah, I think like one more song here and then we'll call it. Go and visit the park.
You take Colorado if you take away.
I think it's important that us buskers visit the places that might need us most. It's easy to get caught up in trying to set up in these nice, touristic, pretty places.
Want to make him stay. These acid bottle tail lights shining through the window. I said I wanna see you in.
But I always find the appreciation for street music to be that much more in these towns that are perhaps slightly off the trodden path.
She said you're rambling, you ain't ever gonna change. You got a gypsy soul to blame and it was born for you.
We're there to add the colour and vibrancy. So we should add colour and vibrancy where it's really needed.
The night is black, it's the coffee, yeah. And in a waitress eyes, he sees the same old light is shining. He thinks he'll Colorado, and the girl he left behind him.
Cheers, Bedford. Just a good day all round. 8 days a week. 8 days a week. Soccer.
Maybe tomorrow will be better. Can I call you then? She said you're rambling. You ain't never gonna change. You got a gypsy soul to blame and it was born for leaving. Born for leaving. Well, it's a winding road.
Well, would you look at that? Beauty wherever you go, eh? You can be in the middle of industry. You can be in the middle of a town centre with all these boarded up shops. You walk for 2 minutes and you're in a beautiful park next to a river. This area down here by this bridge looks like it would be a really cool like evening busk. I can't say that it would be that busy, I don't reckon, for foot traffic, but I reckon it would be a good vibe. So we went for a one spot wonder. We probably could have done a different spot, but with the market going on, with that other busker and different things, and then all the preachers showed up, I just decided I'd tank out a 3 and a bit hour busk, and it ended up being pretty good. It was £86.30, and it's always mind-boggling as to why sometimes you can get a round number, just straight round numbers. It's weird, right? People putting in 5 and 10s if they're putting in loose change. That was good. Just at the end there was a guy came along and he was like, oh, you should play Fountains of Wayne, Stacey's mum. And he was like, you should play I Miss You by Blink-182. I'm there like, my pact at the moment is to add new songs into my set. I was like, dude, it's a great shout. And he was like, welcome to Bedford, it's very quirky. And I'd say it's, you know, it is pretty quirky, but it's not quirkier than most places. And it's clearly a good busk. That was good. It was good to blow the cobwebs off. It's been over a week of no busking, so I'm back, baby. And I guess I better hand it back to future me. See you in the future. Bedford! Where's Bedford? Come on.
Bedford. Where's Bedford? Come on.
It's in Bedfordshire. Duh. What a cool little place. I'm not sure where the Italian influence was. I've been to Italy a fair few times and even road tripped around the country. I would never have made the comparison to Bedford, but maybe there's just some really good gelato that I didn't try. The small towns off the trodden track always seem to be the best places for us buskers. Donation total is usually higher. The overall appreciation a bit greater. And in a lot of ways, I feel that these more rugged spots need the colour and vibrancy of street entertainment to really allow them to shine and become the places that they truly are, which tend to be full of generous people. What do you think, my friends? Have you got any examples of lesser known, smaller places that happen to be rad for busking? Thank you for watching this video. If you are a regular busker in Bedford, then leave a comment below letting us know any advice that I might have missed. And if you like this video, then hit the like button, hit subscribe on the channel. We're shooting for that 10,000, and I've been told that it happens a lot quicker than 0 to 1,000. Who'd have known? Snowball effect. Wild times. If you are a true fan, then you can turn the notifications on. I am August Radio Project. I make videos and they come out every single Monday. In the meantime, you can watch the one that comes up on the screen or go and head to my channel. There's loads on there now. I will see you in the next one. Peace, love, happiness.
Woo! 8 days a week. 8 days a week. Sucker.